Sean Zattel here with probably one of the greatest super middleweights of all time, Carl Froch.
Fair to say that, yeah. Nice one.
I remember when I asked you about this fight earlier this year, you said it's all fun. What's there to be critical about? It's all big. Is that how you still feel about Mayweather and McGregor?
Well, if you're going to talk serious fight game, then it's difficult to give Conor McGregor any sort of chance of beating Mayweather. But you know, it's a two-horse race. Anything can happen. But if you're a betting man, smart money's on Mayweather for a mid to late stoppage. I just think he'll have too much for McGregor. McGregor's got a chance early on. If he comes out and tries to bulldoze McGregor, I think lean on him and just get rough with him and drag him into a bit of a dogfight early on, make it quick. But other than that, I just think it's going to be a step too far for Conor McGregor, making his professional boxing debut against somebody like Floyd Mayweather. He's been out of the ring 2 years, so you know if you're going to try and give the fight any credence at all for McGregor and say he's got a chance, you'd have to say because Mayweather's been 2 years out of the ring. He might be a bit rusty, he might struggle a bit, the camp might not have gone well. I mean, he was not going to tell us about any injuries or how he's feeling. He was coughing a little bit, he had a bit of a horsey throat yesterday, I noticed, so you don't know if he's come down with a bit of a cold, which can happen. He's 40 years old, he'll be training a lot and his metabolism might not be what it is, his immune system might be down a bit. The reason I'm saying this is because McGregor's got to try and pick on any kind of advantage he can. So if Mayweather's not quite himself for whatever reason, then Conor may just have some kind of chance. But other than that, it's a great show, it's a great event. Looking forward to it all unfolding, to see how it goes. It's fascinating, really, because it's so big. It's unbelievable how big it is. I mean, it's really captured the public's imagination. And for Conor McGregor to come from where he's come from in Ireland, and if you look at his story and you see his story and what he's done and what he's achieved, and to put himself in this position where he's earning $100 million, I've got nothing but admiration for him. Whether you think he's a good boxer or fighter, he's a great mixed martial artist. But whatever you think he is, he's a marketing machine, and you've got to admire him for the position he's in. And good luck to him.
Is the sport's reputation at all on the line with people because most people ordering this fight, they're not educated, hardcore fight fans in MMA or boxing. So to a lot of people ordering this fight, is boxing's reputation on the line based on Mayweather's performance?
Potentially, but I mean, it is what it is. It's a one-off, and I think the result's going to be very justified for boxing. So it's potentially on the line if Mayweather was to get beat. I mean, that'd be quite terrible, but probably not so much for boxing as much as it would be for Floyd Mayweather. I mean, he's going for his 50-0 record. That's what he wants. So if he fails to do that on this stage, it's going to be really devastating for him. But like I said, I can't see anything other than a Mayweather win.
Well, if that's what happens and he gets the knockout, does it actually help boxing then to all these people ordering the fight? Does it get them more interested in the sport, respect the sport more?
Well, whichever way you look at it, it's brought a massive amount of attention and bringing a whole new audience to professional boxing, which I don't think is ever a bad thing. But I don't think it's going to change the face of the sport and totally make it. So, I mean, Tony Bellew was on about fighting Bisping in a UFC fight, which I'm not so sure that's such a good idea, but if it makes sense, then get it done. But I think this is one of them unprecedented one-off type of things. Floyd Mayweather's retired, he's a great fighter. Conor McGregor's got him out of retirement. Conor McGregor's got a big mouth, he's a marketing machine, he's a powerful marketing tool, and he's a great mixed martial artist. He's the biggest name in UFC, so it is what it is. I think it's a once-in-a-lifetime type of thing that's happening. Probably won't happen again. And if everything works out how it should, which it usually does, logic usually comes through at the end, then I think Mayweather will make quite easy work of McGregor.
What would a knockout loss do to McGregor's confidence?
What it did to McGregor's confidence? Yeah. Well, he's been beat before, and he's been forced to tap out. He's lost before. He loses to the best boxer to ever live, or one of the best. He's up there with the best of all time, Floyd Mayweather. So losing to him, I don't think he gets knocked out. He might get stopped. What it did to McGregor's confidence? Do you think McGregor's confidence can be dented? I don't think it can. I don't think it would do anything to him.
What do you think Paul Malignaggi told Floyd Mayweather last night in the gym? Did you see the picture?
I ain't got a clue. I know he had a little chat with him, but I wouldn't like to hazard a guess what he said to him, but it was probably something along the lines of whatever you've heard or whatever you've seen or read. It's all a load of rubbish.
Did you have any thoughts on all that? Malignaggi-McGregor fiasco, their sparring and the tapes coming out, Paulie not liking it?
I just saw what I saw. I saw the tapes. I saw Paulie getting sort of shoved around, hit with a couple of shots, fell on the floor. It is what it is. It's sparring.
Or was it a knockout?
I don't know. He got hit with a shot and went over. As far as I was concerned, he looked like he got shoved a little bit, but it's sparring. It's sparring. You can't really read too much into it.
Carl, Canelo Triple G, what do you think?
I think Canelo's going to cause an upset. I think he's young enough. I think Triple G's just past his best. Great fighter, big puncher, but I just think it's all about timing boxing. I think Canelo Alvarez has timed this right with Triple G. He's still angry about losing to Floyd Mayweather. He's a great fighter. He's big on the night, so I don't think the weight's going to be a problem. We'll wait and see, but that's a great fight that's being overlooked by this.
Do you think McGregor will box after this again, or do you think, win or lose, do you think he'll continue? He's making so much more money in boxing versus UFC.
Yeah, but if he'd have boxed anybody other than Floyd Mayweather, he wouldn't have made the money, would he? So,
I mean, if he does get a little bit of success, do you think like against Canelo or Triple G that maybe they'll think about it, or is it a one-off type of event?
I think it's a one-off event, but it all hinges on his performance against Mayweather. And if it doesn't go his way, which I don't think it will, but if it's really badly against him and it looks a bit ridiculous, which it could end up looking, then I don't think you're going to see Conor McGregor in a boxing ring again, to be honest.
What do you hear about Teddy Atlas putting Lomachenko ahead of Terence Crawford and Andre Ward?
Pound for pound's always open to interpretation. People have got their own little methods and scoring systems. There's an argument that Andre Ward could be at number one, but I'm probably not one of the guys that would stick him at number one, just because of the way in which I don't like his style. You know, he beat Kovalev with 3 low blows, but the stoppage was fair enough because Kovalev didn't complain and he was the one sitting on the ropes shaking his head in pain. So he got beat twice.
Carl, what do you think if Floyd? What do you think if Conor does win? How would that hurt boxing in your mind? Or do you think, since you said it's a one-off, it really won't?
I think it hurts Floyd Mayweather. It probably don't hurt boxing. It's not the best for boxing because it's going to get criticised massively by all the UFC fans and all the press and media are going to sort of say you made a bit of a farce, a bit of a mockery of boxing. Because it does look bad. If McGregor beats Floyd Mayweather, it does look bad. But it depends how the fight goes, and if he was to win, which is highly unlikely, it would be how it ended. There's always the excuse that Mayweather's been out 2 years, but I can't see past a Mayweather win, so I can't really answer the question of how bad it is for boxing because I just can't see it happening.
Will you and Andre Ward ever come to a truce?
I don't mind Andre Ward. Listen, I've got a lot of respect for him. He's renowned as pound for pound one of the best. All I don't like about Andre Ward, and I've got no real beef with him, I couldn't care less. I've had a fantastic career and retired at the top. And I've got no beef at all. I'd like the rematch with Ward if I could have got him in England and let the referee, let me do my thing and give me a bit of distance and time. Steve Smoger let Ward hold and maul and just get up close and make the fight ugly, and it was an awkward, horrible night's work for me. But since the Andre Ward loss, I've had an unbelievable career and earned a fortune and gone out on a high. So that loss actually did me more good than harm. But I'm not an Andre Ward fan because I'm not a fan of his style. He's got one of them styles where. Do you ever re-watch an Andre Ward fight? Do you ever rush home and say I want to see that again? Any of his fights?
I do.
Do you?
That last fight was pretty good.
He hasn't lost since he was 12.
Ward fights were pretty exciting.
Yeah. Well, you don't like the kind of fights I like then. I like the Arturo Gatis and the Mickey Ward type of fights. Floyd Mayweather's been offensive.
He was stuttering before he
But
passed.
if you like to go and sit and watch Andre Ward and re-watch that fight, yeah, then to me you're not a big boxing fan. You're just like someone who likes a little snooze halfway through the fight. I don't fast forward fights, but I fast forward his fight.
We boxing fans love those technical skills, and you know, there's fans that like all different styles of
I
fighting.
totally disagree with what you're saying, and I disagree with what you're saying. But I know you're a big Andre Ward arse licker, so you got your opinion. No, you are. I've seen you lick his arse.
The kid hasn't lost since he was 12. Wait, hold up, Ellie, please. He hasn't
Let
lost
him
since he
finish.
was 12.
Yeah.
He hasn't lost since he was 12.
There's a reason he's not lost since he's 12.
Why hasn't he lost since?
Because of his style.
He's great.
Because his awkward style.
Styles make fights, and the goal is to walk
That's
in
a
the
cliche
ring,
I've
walk
not
out
heard
of the ring to
before.
win
That's a
it.
cliche I've not heard before. I'm not going to get into an argument over Andre Ward and his boring, horrible style because I've got TV broadcasters, HBO and Showtime stood behind me. They don't want to show his fights because he's boring. And Sky Sports aren't interested in showing his fights because he's boring, because people don't tune in. He doesn't do numbers. So there's the facts, but you can worm around and do what you want with that.
Are we talking money or are we talking
Next question. Pardon?
Are we talking money or are we talking wins?
What are you talking about?
You said they don't
I'm
want
talking
to show
about
his
viewers. I'm
fights.
talking about viewers
So we're
tuning
talking
in,
about
watching
money.
him
We're
fight.
talking about money.
People don't want to watch him because his style is boring. That's a fact.
Well, we're talking about excitement. Is there any chance?
It's a lot of pressure to perform. You fought and won.
In front of how many people?
80,000.
Yeah, what's that got to do with Conor McGregor Mayweather?
I'm going to ask you. When Conor steps in the ring, knowing that 6 million people pay-per-view, the arena, it's a new sport for him. He's never boxed before. Any pressure goes through a fighter's mind?
I don't think Conor McGregor really, I don't think he worries about pressure. He's so confident and nonchalant in the way he walks around and his body language. He's brave, he's tenacious, he's confident, he's full of self-belief. And he honestly, to me, he doesn't look like somebody who cares less about people's opinions or what they say. He does his thing. The rematch and the whole build-up for the rematch with Diaz, and then he got in there and it was a close fight, the rematch. So he got out and he said, "Who's back, bitch? I'm back."
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, and he's talked his way into this fight with Mayweather, and he's put himself in a position where he's going to earn what, 100 million quid. I admire him. I'm impressed with his marketing abilities and his power to promote and sell himself.
What's a victory for him, for McGregor? Going all 12, going 6, going 4?
I think if he can go the distance with Floyd Mayweather, that's a massive victory. It really is, because a lot of people don't see him getting anywhere to
Floyd even said that.
the distance. Yeah, Floyd Mayweather said that himself.
Conor McGregor's power.
It don't matter how hard you hit if you can't land, does it? Let's be honest. You've got to land that punch, and I can't see him landing that shot on Mayweather. So, and I'm not sure he's a big knockout puncher anyway, McGregor. I'm really not. I'm not convinced.
What can we expect with Dan Hardy? Has he said anything to you about how McGregor trains or what he does?
Not really, no. We had a little tactical thing, and Dan Hardy was on about up close and how he's physical, and he's got a few little moves and arm locks and a bit of wrestling stuff. But instinctively, Conor McGregor's going to want to hold and maybe try and take him to the ground or put him in some kind of lock or brace him. He's not going to be allowed to do that. So this fight for McGregor is everything against instinctively what he knows. I think that's why he's going to struggle so much, because he's going to be made to just box using his two hands, and I think it's going to be really hard for him.
What can we expect from Canelo Triple G?
Canelo Triple G?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a close fight, a really exciting fight where both guys get hit. I mean, Triple G gets hit a lot with shots. He gets hit with shots. His defence is good, his movement's good, but the older he gets, the more fights he has, he just seems to get more and more shots on the end of his chin. He can take them, he's tough, but Alvarez will let the shots go and he will land. But Triple G's going to land shots as well, and he's a big puncher, he's a great fighter. So I think this fight's going to be really close, it's going to be a proper war. It's going to be one of them that you sit back and rewind the tapes and re-watch. It's the kind of fight you want to see again, because you're going to miss stuff through the rounds. You're going to re-watch it and go, this is exciting. It's what boxing's about. It's a good advert for boxing. But I think Canelo Alvarez is going to just have, it's going to be close, but I think going to just have the edge in this one and cause the upset, because it would be an upset if Gennady Golovkin lost. I think if anyone can do it, Alvarez can.
Speaking of potential fights,
Thanks, Carl.
Joshua.
Thanks, Carl.